All righty, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 29th of August, 2025. Flyers Daily, presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. This will be our last episode of the month of August. Monday's episode, Monday with Meltzer on Labor Day, will be September. And August is that month where literally not a whole heck of a lot happens in NHL world, with the exception of the return to play back in 2020. I guess it was 2020 when they got back at it. I think late July into August, had the playoffs in the bubble. But generally speaking, August is for hockey fans, diehard hockey fans, is the month that takes the longest. And of course, it's got to be 31 days. But Monday, we'll flip the calendar to the new month of September, where we'll have rookie games coming up in 2 weeks from tonight in Lehigh Valley at the PPL Center between the Flyers and the Rangers rookies, coming up on the 12th at 7:05, I believe, and the 13th, that Saturday at 5:05. So we'll get those two games in just 2 weeks, if you can believe that. Rookie camp will be underway, I think, starting around the 10th, and then you'll have training camp and preseason, and the regular season will be on the way, and we'll be back into the rhythm and flow of a hockey season. But in this episode, we got a couple things we're going to do in this episode as we get set to flip the calendar to September. First, we need to purge the email. We need to go through some emails that I got from Flyer fans and listeners and viewers of this podcast. Give some responses to those. We'll go through some YouTube comments as well regarding our Carson Bjarn interview. And we'll also have one of our Flyers hometown assist members joining us on this episode, as Tony Sciarrito will join us from Ricardo's Pizza in Berlin, New Jersey. So a little bit to get to. It's not the most pressing news of a hockey podcast episode, but that's August. And like I said, we'll flip the calendar to September coming up next week with Bill Meltzer coming up on Monday and the holiday weekend. First and foremost, let's get to a couple of responses from our interview on Wednesday. And if you missed it with Carson Bjarn, he joined us on a Wednesday's episode. And Carson, even though he's only 20 years old, really good talker, good communicator. We had a great conversation. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And Joe on the YouTube feed said, great conversation. Carson is so mature and cerebral. I'm looking forward to watching his development. What a great attitude. Yeah, I think when you're, especially for the position of goaltending, when you're mature beyond your years, I think that can help in your development on and off the ice. David said, great interview, Jason. Love Carson's attitude and viewpoints of the goalie position. All the best. Joe, glad you got the interview in. It was fun. Looking forward to seeing how he develops. Rick, what a great kid. His great demeanor, great sense of humor to boot. Hope he lights it up in Lehigh Valley this year and becomes that goalie we need for the Flyers next year and for years after. Looking forward to seeing his new masks too. Awesome interview, Jason. Mike, as always, great interview, great questions, Carson. He said, I'm so psyched for you to be starting your pro career. No disrespect to Dan as in Vladar. But after last preseason, I could get used to the idea of having two Swedes in goal. Michael says, Michael Barnes, P.S., no disrespect to Fedotov and Coley. So, how does this all fit in? Where is Kolosov? Where does he fit into this? Is he coming over? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And frankly, I'm not curious enough to ask about it, to be honest with you. That should tell you how I feel. WGD Joe Frazier says the force is strong in this one. Though Neo might be a better strategy. He said, you got the gift, but it looks like you're waiting for something. Don't think you are? No, you are. Yeah, he's going full blown. He said that's in regards to Carson Bjarn. And 456 Yukon said, if you put the name of the interviewee in the title, it will get more clicks, especially since there's really nothing to talk about. I was actually told, I don't know if this is true. I'm no expert. I'm a broadcaster more than anything. I'm not an expert on SEO or anything like that. But to keep the title of the podcast, as in Flyers Daily with Jason Myrtetus, and the date, I'm very consistent. The interviewee's title is right in the description, but it's not in the title. So I don't know. But thanks for the comments there on YouTube. Now, let's keep it with goaltending real quick, because I got this email from Craig. He said, hey, Jason, facing down Labor Day weekend, looking forward to the season starting and have the Flyers move into their rebuild. Lots of changes, lots of potential, and reasons to be hopeful they'll get off the ground finally. I hope so. He said, it's been a while since without serious hockey. I love the interview with Franny Drummond and the ins and outs of his artwork. Incredible hand painting, 1,300 helmets for Army Navy game. Oh, wait till you see them, Craig. They're incredible. I wasn't allowed to show them. He said, you're looking and sounding great, so keep up the great work and getting your health fully back. Take care, Craig. Thanks for the note, Craig. I really appreciate that. Summer is winding down, no doubt about that. And that's a good thing. This DM comes from Brian. He says, hey, Jason, hope you're doing well. Just listen to your episode with Franny. I'm curious, who are your favorite goalies of all time and why did you love them? Style, skill, swagger, who they were off the ice. He said, I was a catcher in baseball and fell in love with the mask, gear, etc. as well. And that comes from Brian. My favorite goalies growing up, I mean, I was really young when Bernie Parent was playing, and I grew up here in Philadelphia. My dad and my parents, we grew up Flyer fans. So I guess Bernie was the first one. I was intrigued by Bernie's mask, although I'm not sure I really knew what I was looking at that point. I was born in 1972. I got on the ice, I think, in 77. So I saw some of Bernie's career and can remember some of it, not a ton of it. The first goalie that I really was like, wow, mesmerized by was Pelle Lindbergh, who obviously we tragically lost in 1986 or 87. And, 85, I'm sorry. I also loved Hextall, Ron Hextall, the way he played. He came in, he was just so brash with the clanging of the pipes, the attitude he played with. It was just refreshing to see a guy back there that was playing that position and being so aggressive in the way he handled it, from getting out of the net and playing the puck. Like I saw that, and that looked fun. I was like, wow, that the position looks more fun the way he plays it. And he was a competitor, a warrior back there. There were some guys before him that would get into it, mix it up physically, and were pretty vicious. If you look at a guy like Billy Smith with the Islanders, but Ron Hextall was one of those guys that I really, he revolutionized the game with the way he played the puck. And a lot of guys followed. Marty Brodeur was a guy that followed and played the puck really well. We've seen guys over the years. So those guys are the guys when I was really young. There's been guys that I've watched throughout the years that I really enjoy watching. I've said this before, I'm a huge Jonathan Quick fan. In his prime, he was just absolutely incredible. I liked Brodeur, even though he played for the Devils, and obviously Patrick Waugh. Hasek was a guy that I loved watching, but something about him just didn't wash with me, and that was because you could never emulate him. There was never any goalies like him. You have goalies like, like Carey Price and the very technical goalies, or Quick and Marc-Andre Fleury, the very athletic goalies. You had the big goalies like Pekka Rinne and Ben Bishop and others. But there was never anybody that even tried to do what Dominik Hasek did. And maybe that's why I didn't kind of fall in love with him. He was a very intense competitor, but I just couldn't comprehend how he made the decisions he made when he played the position. I mean, guy come down on a 2-on-1 and he barrel roll. What are you doing? It was crazy. It was so unpredictable, which was one of the things that made him great. And his play reading ability was so good. But more recently, I really enjoyed watching a guy like Carey Price. Obviously, I just mentioned Quick. Henrik Lundqvist was a guy I was always interested in watching because the way he played so deep in the net. So, I mean, you can play that position at a really high level and be really effective, and play it totally different from another guy playing it at a really high level and very effective as well. This email comes from, let's see if he signed his name at the bottom. I don't want Ed. He said, hey, Jason, just finished watching your Monday podcast. You and Bill included a discussion on Gulbenkian. He said, if I may add that, also Gulbenkian may not be a big scorer, but his game has good complementary aspects to a line. He said, Gulbenkian adds and plays. He's 6'2", 210, strength, gritty, rugged, board battles, net front, and protection. Around the NHL, this is called playing a heavy game. He said, I've also read that Gulbenkian has got jam. It seems like he'd be a good left wing complement to Zegris and Mishkov's style to play, where Gulbenkian would do the lion's share of the heavy work for his two super skilled line mates. The other factor is intangible, since there's no Shabanov, no Fedotov, no Kolosov, maybe no Zamula. We'll see about that. Perhaps Gurbenkin is the only other Russian candidate to make the team for the advantage to the communication to Michkov. Intangible, yet important. He said having a Russian teammate would help Michkov reach his full potential. How can it help Michkov? By providing native language, on-ice communication, culture barrier, social life, overall comfort level. Although I think Misha's coming in this year, he's going to be able to speak much better English. So we'll see. I mean, for Gurbenkin, he's got to ultimately show that he can play. And is Gurbenkin a player that can play at the same, cerebral level with a guy like Zegris and like Michkov? Again, I'm not even sure Michkov and Zegris should play together. I'm really not. Because when I look at those two guys, to me, they're both such great facilitators with the puck. And there's only one puck. I've been asked 1,000 times over email, DM, and seeing people, Zegras, Michkov, and Konechny should be aligned. I try it, see if it works, but I'm really skeptical about that line because those are three players that want to make something happen with the puck. And there's only one puck. So I look at that and I go, I think maybe you'd be better off spreading it out. So who does Zegris make sense with? I could see Zegris making a lot of sense with Tyson Forster on one wing. And, then you could go, okay, if Forster's there, does Michkov play on that line? Does Konechny play with him? Does Zegris break Konechny out in stride as a winger? The whole conversation about is Zegris a center? And we're going to get to that in just a second. Where do these things fit? Does Zegris make sense to play with Dvorak? Now, Zegris is not a good face-off guy. Dvorak can come in and take key draws and still be a winger and play with Zegris. I don't think that's a bad idea. And if you have Dvorak, does it make sense? Does that now complement enough to get Michkov? I don't know. I don't know what these line combinations are. Ed in his email said Couturier, Tippett, and Konechny, Zegris, Gurbenkin, and Michkov. I don't think Gurbenkin's coming in here to be a second-line player this year. He said Cates, Forster, and Bump, Lachenko, Dvorak, and Brink with Hathaway as an extra. I think that's unlikely. Some of those things. I don't think Brink's a fourth-line player. I don't think that's beneficial for him. And I don't think Garnet Hathaway is going to be healthy scratched. But I digress. So we'll see where it all goes with these line combinations. It's something that is hard to kind of who's going to play with who. And as I've said before, one of the things that I'm bummed didn't come out of last year or the last 2 years is that we have at least the combination of two forwards that belong together. Couturier and Konechny, do they belong together? And then that third one kind of changes from time to time. Kind of like it was Giroux and Voracek and who? Giroux, Voracek, Simmons. Giroux, Voracek, Reed. Giroux, you knew these two players, and sometimes you'd have to break them apart, but we don't have that combination. I still am trying to figure out the right center or a combination for a player like Owen Tippett. Now, Owen Tippett creates most of his offense off individual effort, just athletic plays. I'd like to see him become a player that can do that, manufacture his own offense, both in transition and in the offensive zone, but also become a player that in tandem with his line mates creates more offense as well. To me, that's the next step of his game as an NHLer. That's it right there. And carrying confidence and not having the long droughts, as Bill's talked about. Forster, who does he fit with? So I don't know the answers when it comes to these offensive lines and how they're going to break down. I really, really don't. So back to Zegris and him playing in the middle or playing center. Now, Jared sent me an email, and Jared does the work. He puts in a ton of research into the emails he's done. I've featured them before. And he sent me this just on Wednesday. And it's a long one. He said, hope you're doing well. Summer pods have been great. Really enjoyed Charlie on the podcast last week. Keep the Flyers crossover podcast coming. I'd love to see some BSH guys like Ryan Gilbert or Steve Jacotte. different guys come on the podcast. He said, one of my favorite things to do after a Flyers trade is go fishing through the comments and podcasts of the player the Flyers got's former team. He said, I started doing this about 6 years ago when the Flyers traded for Justin Braun. He says it was a trade that every Flyers person I followed online seemed to hate. He said, but when I looked at the comments on the Sharks social media, I saw countless fans lamenting that they lost a really useful player that would be incredibly hard to replace. Braun was a solid player for what he was at that point in his career. He said, that's exactly what he turned out to be for the Flyers. In these circumstances, I'm far more interested in the perspective of the people who have watched that guy play every night for years than national pundits or local fans from the receiving team who haven't seen him play at all. It's a great point. When you follow a team close, you see, we can go back and look at Trevor Zegris and look at highlights, but I want to see what it's like when things aren't going well, what the issue is when he doesn't have confidence or his line's not working. Those things are important. He said Zegris is a bit more of a known commodity than Justin Braun, but I can't pretend to watch many Ducks games. So when the trade happened, he said he went looking into some of their podcasts, found one called Crash the Pond, and they dedicated 103 minutes to Zegris. And he put a couple of quotes in here from the podcast. He said, in the Crash the Pond podcast, Zegris should not be a winger. This is one of the people on the podcast. And so if he's going to be a winger, or if your team is set up for him to be a winger, then that's just not an effective use of him. You're better off moving him and finding someone to take that role instead. He said, I think it's pretty simple. We saw him play at center, and he looked impactful. So I think in large part, it's that. If we saw him play at center for a full 82-game season, it will be a completely different story. And I think that we've found out about Trevor Zegris, that he's not a guy who can just play in any role and get the same performance and the same production. He has to be in the right situation, and that's okay. He said, in fact, he's being asked to do things he's not good at. Like he's just not a good winger. Okay. I mean, every player is going to be asked to be doing things that they're not good at. You're not just going to get asked things that you're good at. You got to be a well-rounded hockey player. Now, I don't need Zegris in there blocking shots every two. That's not. You accentuate his positives and you try and mitigate their negatives, but they also have to be able to defend. You have to in this league. Jared says, this comes up a bunch of times. He said, I keep hearing if Zegris sticks at center from Flyers fans, but Ducks fans paint a different picture. He said there was a lot of conversation about who Zegris should play with, which we just talked about as well. And he said it's natural to associate him with Mishkov. But he said, I'm not sure that's the way to go. He's one of the hosts said, if I remember correctly, the Killorn Zegris Gauthier line was extremely good. They were dominant, small sample size, but still, that was with Zegris at center. So Jared looked it up. The 4 games that Zegris, Killorn, and Gauthier played together were all losses. They lost 5-2 to Minnesota, 5-1 to Vancouver, 4-2 to Chicago, and 2-1 to Pittsburgh in overtime. He said, I watched all 4 of the games. The right mix for Zegris and the players he should play with would be winger 1, a super fast gunner. In this case, it was Gauthier, whose strength is straight line speed and a grip and rip shot. He said, I think that Gauthier closes his eyes, but I can't prove that. Pretty clearly the equivalent of an Owen Tippett. And then winger 2, a more defensively responsible veteran. And it said the Flyers actually have a lot of options here, but Christian Dvorak is almost tailor-made for this role, especially because he could be a Fogo, face off, get off, and take some crucial face-offs and switch to wing. So you got to find the right players and the right combination to put players in a position to succeed. Great stuff there. And he said also, he was on their YouTube and saw, is Tocchet the first NHL caliber coach that Zegris has ever played for? Zegris only played for Dallas Eakins and Greg Cronin. So, yes. Eventually, Jared goes on to say, I'm calling it now. He's going to, or one of the guys on the podcast said, I'm calling it now. He's going to put up 70 points next season, and the trade is going to look kind of dumb. So we'll see. If you get 70 points out of Zegris, that would be unbelievable. Jared's emails, unbelievable. Always does a great job with the stuff that he sends in for Flyers Daily. All right, one more thing, and I'm going to put this graphic up on the screen. This came out the other day. don't know if you guys saw this, but the U.S. national TV games by team. These games are exclusively on TNT, ESPN, ABC, or ESPN Plus. The team with the most national TV games is actually the Washington Capitals. They have 18. That's Ovechkin. You look at some of the markets, a team like Chicago, huge market, top 5 market in the country. They have Bedard, not a good team still. Tampa, their star power still in the mix with 15. Colorado, a team, McKinnon and McCarr and all the star power there. Minnesota, another pretty large market. Boston, a big market with 17. LA's got 14. Florida, 15. Flyers, 14 national TV games. And you go, well, a team that finished 4th from the bottom last year with 14 games, does that mean they think they're going to be better? Some people are making that hypothesis, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the reason. Because I look at the Penguins, and I think the Penguins aren't going to be very good. And they got 16 national TV games. Not because they're going to be good, but because it's an important market and they have an important player in Sidney Crosby that draws eyeballs. New York's got 16. The Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid's got 16. Detroit, 17. These are all big markets. Anaheim, who's got some good young players and maybe making a step this year, has 5. The Calgary Flames, who have some nice players, missed out on the playoffs last year, have none. That's a Canadian team. Canadians have 0-2. So does Vancouver. But San Jose, Zachlin, Celebrini, they only have 6. Seattle, not a lot of spice to that lineup. Good market, 9. So do I even see Buffalo on here? Oh, yeah, Buffalo's got 2. New Jersey's got 3. The Islanders have 10. But all said and done, Buffalo has 7. That's the Predators who have 2. So I don't make that deduction like, hey, the Flyers got 14 games. Television thinks they're going to be better than maybe we think or they think. Dallas has 16. Like I could watch Dallas all day with that team, with Rantanen and everybody they got there. Jake Ottinger, new coach. So yeah, I don't make that correlation. All right, let's get to our first of a few Flyers Hometown Assist winners. This great program that was started back in during the pandemic in 2020 to help hometown business. So here's a conversation with Tony Shorito, from Ricardo's Pizza in Berlin, New Jersey, our first Hometown Assist winner. It is the summertime, and in the summertime, we like to feature the Hometown Assist, a program the Flyers started during the pandemic back in 2020 to assist local businesses and help them get the word out. And winners are selected by the Flyers and Wells Fargo. 4 local businesses receive tons of advertising assets, over $100,000, spanning the 24-25 season, radio commercials, digital and social promotions, in-arena activities, LED signage, all kinds of great stuff. And the Flyers' strength of brand gets the word out to a lot of people. It's what powers the Flyers Hometown Assist program and brings a ton of value to local businesses. And one of our winners is Ricardo's Pizzeria in New Jersey, over in Beverly, New Jersey. And joining us right now is Tony Shorito. Tony, what's it like to be one of the participants in the Flyers Hometown Assist program?
It's awesome. It's definitely a great opportunity for us. Me and my family, we've all been huge Flyers fans over the course of our life. So to be chosen for something like this for our small business is definitely a great opportunity for us.
It's a Flyers hotbed in Beverly, New Jersey. And, I'm sure you guys have been around forever, almost as long as I've been alive. Opened in 1974. Your dad opened it. Mm-hmm. And you look at it, I'm sure that you guys have served food up for many a Flyers game for fans watching at home during playoffs, ordering, pizzas and wings and everything. Is it Flyers country over there? You guys flying the flag proud?
Yeah, definitely Flyers country. A lot of big time football fans, but definitely Eagles, but definitely Flyers fans around where we're at. So it's definitely a good fan base around Beverly area.
You guys you're now in your 3rd generation of ownership. You've been there forever. I mean, since you were a kid. How much time do you think collectively you've spent at the shop, at the pizza shop?
Just a lot of time. It started with my grandfather. My dad passed it on to my father. He's the current owner. So me and him spent a lot of time working, open to close. lot of long hours it takes. So definitely put a lot of time into it.
But you guys keep evolving. I think that's the cool thing. Like I was looking at your menu online, and I'm gonna have to make a trip because I got to ask you about two things in particular on your menu. It's really easy to order for you guys too. You can do it right online. Just go to the website, Ricardo's Pizzeria. Let me make sure I got this right. What's the website? Ricardo's Pizza NJ.
Yeah, Ricardo's Pizza NJ.com. Yep.
You go there and you can see the barbecue porker. Now tell me about this. It is a half a pound of pulled pork, smoked pulled pork. That's insane. That's a big sandwich.
Yeah. So we wanted to bring something fresh to the menu. Summertime, we figured that nothing better than bringing smoked pulled pork. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's put a big half a pound pulled pork sandwich out, coleslaw. Of course, serve with a side of fries, just like everything else we serve. So it's a good sandwich for sure. You got to come hungry if you want that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put weight back on. When you look at, you got to serve that with a knife and a fork, I would imagine as well. I mean,
for sure, it can get messy.
I can't get the meat hooks around that one. And I got to ask you about this one too, because I'm a huge fan of cookie dough. I like all doughs. I like brownie batter and cookie dough. When I was a kid and mom was making homemade chocolate chip cookies, I prefer she didn't even put them in the oven. I just eat the dough. But you have the dough espresso.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is the dough espresso? I know it's got cookie dough in it.
Yeah, so that's our latest one. We just released that a week or two ago, I believe. So it's basically cookie dough ice cream, iced coffee, and then we blend in Oreos. So it's almost like a cookies and cream / cookie dough with some iced coffee mixed into there.
Again, you guys can get easy online ordering, loyalty rewards, fast delivery, all at ricardospizzanj.com. It's a family business. You guys, a family business doesn't last as long as you guys unless you're all about the customer quality, good food, good service, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the main thing. We want to service is the number one priority, and being a small business that we really try to hit on that, focus that, and really give back to the community. So that's kind of how we've been able to stay around it's been 51 years now for us. So.
Oh, yeah, you guys started in May of '74. Vincenzo Shortino was dedicated to providing Burlington County with the best pizza and Italian specialties. Are there still some Vincenzo recipes that you guys are using?
Yeah, so we're still using the same marinara sauce that we use on all our pastas are from him. The pizza dough recipe, the sauce that we use on the pizza. So all of those core ingredients, the cheese that we use, everything is from same stuff that he brought over when he came here from Sicily. So everything's still the same from him.
Wow, that's incredible. I love recipes that get handed down through generations. Mm-hmm. Your dad's been there since he was a little kid. And has Dad added some more things, his own personal touch through his years?
Yeah, for sure. So he added a few things, and then more so when I came in, I kind of brought a little bit of that youth, the flavors, and some of that innovative stuff. So we've definitely, as of the most recent years, have been bringing on a lot newer flavors. While we still have those core ingredients that my grandfather has, we definitely incorporated some more modern and more new flavors for people to try, for sure.
I think this is a great time of year to talk with you and about you guys in the Flyers Hometown Assist program, because we're coming up on, people getting back from the shore and doing the summer thing, and kids are going to start school here soon. We see the Eagles in preseason already, and, the hockey season and basketball season, college football. I love this time of year. I freak out about it because it's just great. There's so much great sports to watch. Mm-hmm. And what goes great with sports, Tony? Good Italian food, right?
Absolutely.
They meld together perfectly. And for the people that don't want to get up and go, you guys provide delivery as well. You can order on the website, ricardospizzanj.com. The phone number to call you guys, 609-386-5363. And you guys are right there on Warren Street in Beverly, New Jersey, where you've been for all these years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's the same there, same address there, 702 Warren Street.
And you guys will provide that delivery. And again, ordering online, real easy. Tell me about the loyalty rewards program that frequent customers can take advantage of.
Yeah, so we have two different types. If you order online, we have a rewards program where basically if you spend over $15, you get a pizza point, and after 8 pizza points, we'll give you that free pizza on us. And then we have an in-store program, which basically every dollar you spend will go towards the rewards program. And then as you save them up, you can use those in-store towards free drinks, a free slice of pizza, save them up, get a free large pizza. So a couple different ways to kind of earn some free stuff from us for your loyalty.
Absolutely. What is the number one pizza still just the plain? Is it pepperoni, or do you have the margarita pizza? What's the number one when it comes
So
to
I
pizza?
gotta tell you, as of recently, the number one is the hot honey pizza that we serve. So I don't know if you're familiar with that Mike's
Really?
hot honey stuff that's been around. So we do
The
pepperoni
hot honey
bacon.
blanco, right?
Yeah, so we have the hot honey blanco, and then the number one that we sell is the regular hot honey, which is just a red sauce pizza with pepperoni bacon and that Mike's hot honey drizzle. And I gotta tell you, that's been the most popular since we put it out.
Is that how long have you guys put that out?
That one we put out, I want to say about 2 years ago when we first tried the
And it's
Mike's
the
hot
most
honey.
popular that long?
Yeah.
Wow. Man,
So
it takes a serious pie to unseat a pepperoni or just a
at
regular plain pie.
yeah, I because yeah, like you're saying, it was plain pepperoni for a while. For us, it was a buffalo chicken pizza that was kind of the most popular. But
Yeah.
once that hot honey hit, that kind of just took over everything.
Wow. What inspired the hot honey pie?
We got it from our supplier as a sample, a bottle of this Mike's Hot Honey. So we're like, let's just try it out on something. So we put it out for slices one day, and it sold out within the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And I'm like, all right, we might be on to something. So that's when we just put it on the menu, and ever since it just took off.
And pretty much ever since people tried it, they're like become addicted to it. It's like different.
Absolutely, yeah. We now sell it in bottles at the store. So people go crazy for the hot honey.
Yeah, bacon, pepperoni, and hot honey drizzle. That sounds
Absolutely,
fantastic. I would never think to do that, but that sounds
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's definitely worth a try for sure.
All right. So, all right. Next Eagles game, Eagle fans, go to ricardospizzanj.com. Place an order for the hot honey pizza or the hot honey blanco. The only difference, the hot honey blanco is classic white pie with ricotta cheese and the hot honey drizzle, right?
Right, for sure. Yep.
And cheesesteaks, you always got to do the good cheesesteak as well in this area.
Absolutely. Cheesesteaks, another big one for the football fans around is wings. We do the wings right. So pizza and wings they're the combination for football season, Flyer season coming up.
Incredible.
So that's a big thing.
Absolutely. I'll be making a trip up, Tony. I really appreciate you joining us as part of the Hometown Assist program. We look forward to seeing you guys throughout the season as well. Get to some Flyers games and enjoy the fall, man. Enjoy the busy season for you guys, I'm sure. Thanks for doing this, and congratulations on being a winner of the Flyers Hometown Assist.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me. It means a lot for me, the business, and everybody around. So I definitely appreciate you having me.
Thanks to Tony Sciarrito for joining us on this episode of Flyers Daily, and congratulations to them. Go check out that pizza. It looks phenomenal. I'm going to get over there. I'm going to have the pizza, maybe have a nice milkshake, the cookie dough. Woo, come on. All right, that's it for this episode of Flyers Daily. That's it for August. Done and dusted. When we join you again, it'll be September. When we join you again, it'll be with Bill Meltzer. So join us Monday, Labor Day edition of Flyers Daily.